2016 C300. Now you just seen me post yesterday the video on the vehicle behind me, and I did them at the same time. I'll post this one the next day probably. Same time, same shop, same no sun inside, same 60-degree weather temperature. Now look at the high side pressure on the one on that 2016 Dodge Journey. Went up to 200 psi, I believe it was, on the high side. Now this Mercedes has been operating for 18 minutes. Let's see if our Apple will focus. There we go. We're running for 18 minutes. So our low side pressure is 26 psi. Our high side pressure is steady and straight, basically between 137 and 127, right around there. And it's steadying off and it's leveling off and it's not oscillating. Now how can you compare that Dodge Journey 2016 Mercedes 2016? They're both 2016. They both use refrigerant. They're both air conditioning. They've both been running, but we have totally different ramping. Remember the other one? It was cycling off and on the low side pressure. This is constant, doesn't move at all. Look at the high side pressure on this one. It's a gradual taper down as it runs and steadies out. Way different than the other one. Two vehicles are not alike. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. That's it. That rounds up for the, oh, let's see what let's actually go back and look at what are we coming out of the dash at. 36 degrees. We got 36 degrees coming out of the dash. Actually, our temperature rose to 62 degrees. It's actually 60. I'm sitting, this compressor is hot because it's been running for the last almost 2 hours with these two vehicles constantly. So we have this big heat sink radiating off heat. We have this vehicle here flowing out hot air, and it doesn't have the plastic dam. If you could see down there, you could see the floor. So we have hot air mixing in this area, rolling around. So I picked up an extra 2 degrees right here, mixing with the ambient temperature air. So we have the exact same conditions in the same building at the same time, totally different pressures. So this is why we have to educate or get rid of these guys who are putting false information out on YouTube, even though they have a couple 100,000 subscribers, and they just make up shit and pull it out of their rear end and post it, not even knowing what they're talking about or doing, saying there's these averages and these pressures that you have to go to all the time to fill up a system. And you say, oh, it's about at this pressure, it's full, it's good to go. Or they'll say, hey, let's put shop air in there and fill it up and run it and see if the compressor runs. Those kind of guys, we have to eliminate them by educating them. If they're educated, they could do better work and bring up the standards of our industry instead of making our trade look bad like they're a bunch of redneck Billy Bob butt crack hillbillies doing AC and telling people what is right and what is wrong on pressures, that there's like one set pressure. All right guys, it's all about education. I put this out there so you can see that there is a difference. I'll see you later on the next one. Don't forget Nylog to stop your vacuum leaks. Big Blue for looking for your leaks. If you do want a really good bubble leak, micro leak detector, Big Blue is an excellent thing to go. And don't forget your nitrogen for doing your pressure checks. Dry nitrogen only, no shop air. Don't forget, I don't have it out here right now, the Stratus leak detector. That is the leak detector to go to. I'll see you guys. And everything here is available at True Tech Tools. I don't have a link with them. I don't have an affiliation with them or anything, but that's where I get my equipment from. They're well trusted. They've always delivered, and they have the best products in town. You won't find them selling the sleazy eBay Chinese stuff. All right, see ya.